record there. Perfect. So for those listening back on the podcast, this is our weekly Thursday webinar, and we have the lovely Jenna Bisson here to share her journey with us and some tips and tricks that she's learned along the way. So Jenna, if you want to start us off with a bit about yourself. So who are you? What do you like to do? And any hobbies?
Yep. So I work as an ambulance and fire control officer, so I answer the 999 call. I like to walk my dogs, go out for dinner with my friends. My hobbies are kind of walking, puzzles, drawing. Bit boring.
Love that. So I think you've been with us over a year now. I think it was June last year you started, wasn't it? What did you try before? What were you struggling with? And how long were you trying to solve this, etc.?
So before starting AS, I had done lipo trim, which is like an all shake diet thing. It was horrendous, worst thing ever, but it's just I also tried not eating much and then like loads of different shake diets and stuff, but obviously they actually do nothing for you apart from make you kind of skinny fat, so you're still fat but you look yes. So like I used to struggle a lot with like binge eating when I was stressed, and like when nothing was working, and when I was sad, just everything would go out the window and I would just eat because it's my favorite thing to do. So like obviously that impacted me a lot because there were days where like I'd have really down days or like down weeks where I couldn't kind of leave the house and I couldn't clean and I couldn't go out and do what I wanted to do, and I didn't have any confidence because I couldn't wear what I wanted to wear, and every time I was around like my friends, I was always thinking like, people are probably looking at the way that I look compared to them because I was a lot bigger than they all were. So it was really like a lot of like I was really self-conscious, which just stopped me from doing like loads of stuff.
Yeah. And what's life like now after this?
So now things are good. I'm not really self-conscious much anymore. I don't really care now what people think about me. Like I'm in a happy relationship and I got a new job and things are going well, and it works really well for me that I always have kind of like you guys always set me a goal, so I always have something to work towards, which I find even on my bad days, like I still am conscious of having that goal and being like, right, I still have to get out and do this, even though I'm like having a bad day and I don't want to. So it works. The whole thing just works really well. It's made me happy.
For anyone who doesn't know, Jenna just ran your marathon on Sunday, which is a big goal. Well, you've done a couple of things this year. You did a half marathon in March. You did the London photo shoot I said photo shoot really weirdly then. Photo shoot in July, and then you just done your marathon on Sunday. So how's that been this year?
I mean, it's a year of big things that I never could have imagined that I would do, but I've done them, and I'm still can't believe. People say like, oh, you must be so like proud, and I'm like, it still hasn't sunk in, like the fact that I have only been a year and I've overcome and like done all these things that I could have never imagined doing a year ago. Like even to run a half marathon a year ago, I would have been like, absolutely not.
Yeah, honestly, we're so proud of how far you've come, and just hearing you every time you hit a goal, I just get so happy. Like it does just make my day when to be fair, anyone's envy goals, but you've hit some massive ones this year. So going into like three principles or four principles actually that you've kind of implemented over your journey. Starting with nutrition, what are three things or hacks that have really worked for you?
My number one is pre-planning calories for like, if not just one day, like a few days ahead. So like, because I work shifts, I'll pre-plan all of my calories for my shift days. I don't worry about pre-planning days ahead as much when I'm not working shifts, but when I've pre-planned it, I already know that I'll always leave myself a little bit extra in case like someone at work brings biscuits or like there's a cake or whatever. And then obviously on those days, if I do go over or if I'm under, then I can fix it later on in the week. So I've always got that little bit of wiggle room, which works so well. But yeah, so that's my number one. And then my number two, and this was is still is a big one for me, is learning not to be afraid of eating my calories that I'm allowed. Like, and the marathon, I think that was a big changing point for me where I actually realized, hang on, because now I'm not, if I don't eat my calories, I'm not fueling my body. So I won't be able to do those things. Like, there's no way you can run 26 miles if you haven't eaten the right amount of food, or you haven't got enough like nutrition to be able to actually go out and do it. And that was such a big thing for me. Like, I got really, really tired because obviously the training was insane. Like, gave up my life for that marathon training, but it it taught me such a big lesson in the fact that you just don't be afraid of eating those calories. If you set out those calories for us, like 100% eat all of them because you can, and you'll still lose weight. It'll still happen. It just like my mindset especially, and like it's taken me a whole year to get to where I'm not scared to eat my calories.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a few people that I quite like to start people on, very realistic calories, and people are like, oh, this is too much food for me. But as you know, as you go through your journey, you'll inevitably have to bring your calories down to continue losing that weight. And if you start too low, and then we have to bring them down even further. I know this is a bit different for your marathon, but it's just use those calories while you have them, use them as energy to get your workouts on, get your steps done. And if we need to bring them down, then we can. But yeah, definitely for your marathon, I was like, eat your calories. It wasn't even that much, I didn't think, but I was like, just try and eat some more so you've got some energy. You got
Yeah,
third.
yeah, the biggest thing with the marathon one though is because like I, instead of putting it in my fitness pal, I was writing it down on a piece of paper so that I could like see it all the time. So because obviously sometimes if I didn't have my phone around me or whatever, like I'd forget what I'd pre-planned, and then it would get to like lunchtime and I'd only had breakfast, and then I'd be like, oh well, I've missed my morning snack, so now I'm going to have to eat more this afternoon, which then I'm like, I feel really full and I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. So that was like a big thing. I was like, no, just write it all down. As soon as you walk past it, you'll be like, oh, I have to eat this in a minute. So that's, and that was like the best thing I did. Yeah, my number three was just eat the things you like, stopping yourself having something that you want. So like I found that has like reduced the amount I crave like sweets and chocolate and stuff like that. And I actually more often than not crave like fruit and stuff now, because I haven't replaced, but like I eat my like when I want a chocolate bar, I'll always leave myself a couple hundred calories so that if I do want a chocolate bar, I can have one. So it means that I actually don't crave things like chocolate anymore. But on the days where like I haven't eaten enough fruit, I'll be like, oh, I really want some fruit today. Like, so it means that like it's curved the cravings massively by not actually cutting out the things that you do want.
Yeah, definitely goes in with your pre-planning. Just pre-plan
Yeah.
you do enjoy, because it's going to make the whole journey much more sustainable. So going on to mindset, have you got three for mindset?
Yeah. So my first one was it will happen even if it's slow. And like, that was a obviously big one for me. Like I just wanted things to happen right now, right here. I just want to be thin. I'm putting in the work and I want it to happen. But like, yeah, a big thing was just like changing my mindset so that like it is happening. But like even between the photo shoot and now, like I obviously, well, for the last like 3 weeks, I haven't actually weighed myself because I was like, I don't want that to put me off eating my calories for my running. But at the same time, like you made me take those pictures and I hadn't actually looked at any of my pictures since the photo shoot. And it is like crazy how, although I've lost no weight really, like my body shape has majorly changed, which then gave me a massive boost going into the marathon, being like, I don't feel disgusting. And like, it's things have happened. It's I've not put in all this work just for nothing, or just, well, not for nothing because I ran a marathon, but for like not looking any different, because it will happen.
Good things,
um
good things take time.
exactly. My number two was one bad day isn't going to ruin everything, and that is like even now still a major one for me. Like I eat a bad meal and like, oh, the whole day is ruined. Whereas because I've obviously implemented like my pre-planning my calories, I am slowly able to change that. So like, although I do think, oh, I probably shouldn't have eaten that, I know that I can go into my calories for maybe the next day and be like, right, I can't have a chocolate bar tomorrow because I've overeaten today, but it's fine because I'll plan one in for the next day because I've still got enough calories. So yeah, one bad day isn't going to ruin everything. One bad meal isn't going to ruin your whole day. And my last one was food isn't scary, because that still is the biggest thing for me. Food scares me. Eating too much, eating not enough, everything about eating, even though I love eating.
Yeah, it's all about balance, isn't it? And as you said, like that one day or one meal isn't gonna fuck up your progress. And it's just remembering that you can always carry on the next day, or if you've messed up at breakfast, you've still got the rest of the day. I
Yeah,
like the thing when you say, when I say, if you got 20, you're having 3 meals a day, you've got 21 meals out of a week. If you mess up on, or you don't track that one meal, you've still got 20 meals that you can control, which is a big thing to look at. So going on to lifestyle.
yeah. So
Mhm.
I find now that I want to be more active. So like, whereas like, especially when I first started, it was always like a really big push for me to even get into the gym, never mind do what I'm supposed to do when I'm there and do it to like its full potential. So like, now it's changed my mindset of being like, I actually want to be more active now. I want to hit my goals. I want to do these things. So like, it's just been, and having something to work towards always is just ideal, because it means that you have got something to push towards. So if you are having a day where you're like, oh, I could just sit on the sofa and watch TV all day, I'm like, actually, no, I do want to go out and I do want to go and do that. So like, my lifestyle, instead of like sitting around and just watching TV or like sitting around and snacking, I'm like, actually, no, I can go and do this. And, I've done my workout, but maybe I could fit a walk in now, kind of thing. So just wanting to be generally more active now is much better. Makes me feel so like my mind, my everything feels better from being active, and it's taken this long for me to realize that, which is lovely.
So we always say this isn't a dieting program, it's a lifestyle change, and you want it to be sustainable. And you find it so much easier now to, as you said,
Yeah,
go out and go for a walk and do this or that. Whereas, last year I was probably pestering you, getting your steps in and whatnot and all that. So it's definitely made a massive change.
my number two was I can go out now with my friends and not feel like an outcast, because I don't feel uncomfortable anymore, and I just feel way more confident about the way that I look. So it's like made such an impact. Like 90% of the time, if you'd have asked me last year, do you want to go out and do this, 90% of the time I'd be like, oh no, it's fine, like you guys go. Or I'd like make up an excuse to be like, oh, I can't come because whatever, when it isn't that. It's the fact that I'm like, I can't wear anything, I don't have anything to wear, I look terrible and everything. Like, my confidence was so bad that I just literally would fob everything off and be like, no, no, I'll just stay in. So it's nice to be able to like go out now and just not even feel that, just go out and kind of just be me, which is nice.
Yeah, amazing.
And my last one was just, I feel just so much better about everything. Like, I have a lot less down days now, whereas like last year, I would maybe have like a week of really down days where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't get up, I couldn't shower, I couldn't wash, I couldn't clean my house. Like, I wouldn't leave the house, like, apart from to go to work. So now it's just, I don't have as many of those. Like, yeah, every now and again I do have a down day, but it's nothing like it used to be. And normally, if I go out for a walk or whatever, I feel so much better after it anyway. So it's not actually a down day. It might be like a down few hours and that's it. Um, it's just the way that you guys like plan out my week for me
Mhm.
takes a massive burden off me having to do it myself, and me having to go out and be like, right, you have to do this today. Because I know if you're messaging me being like, have you done your gym sessions this week? And I'm like, it's Thursday and I've done not one. No. But I don't get like that anymore. So that's like just incredible. So much better.
Yeah, this week you ran a marathon, so you can have a rest week. We'll allow it.
I have rest this week, although to the gym tomorrow. Uh,
Yeah, and
but
going
yeah,
into onto your when you're like you're going out, like you feel like comfortable going out more, but and also, you're doing that around your calories as well. On top of
yeah,
obviously feeling more comfortable in that, you're not scared like what you said about before about scared of food. You're not scared of going out for those meals and planning them into your week, which is amazing.
yeah.
So going on to training, top tips of training.
Top tip: always have a goal to work towards,
Love that.
because that has just been top. That's the thing that gets me to go and to do it, because if I'm goal to work towards, I'm like, what's the point of doing it? Even though like my goal obviously is to like feel better about myself and look better and do whatever, like having a goal to actually work towards, like in the gym or running, or even like like having a relationship that's just where you're more happy in, like all of those things are just goals that you can work towards that get you out and get you doing it.
Yeah.
That
I think measurable goals in the gym because it's actually something you can physically tick off.
Yeah,
Whereas feeling better and that's like that's a feeling. Whereas if you're going, I'm going to aim for the 16-kilo dumbbells on bench press, it's actually a number that you can then go and tick off, which is just such a
yeah.
nice feeling.
My second one is just doing things that you would have never dreamed of doing, is just such a confidence boost. Like I said, like last year, I wouldn't have even said I'd have run a half marathon, never mind run a full marathon or do the photo shoot. Like these things majorly put me out of my comfort zone, but that's a good thing. And it's taken me like a year to realize that being out of your comfort zone is a good thing. And it pushes you that little bit more and it makes you that more confident person. So like even without your body changing or looking different or working towards like a goal, it's just doing something that you wouldn't ever dream of doing is such like a good feeling for yourself, that doing the training to get there is easy, because it's not easy, but it's easier.
Be comfortable,
Uh,
get comfortable being uncomfortable. You know.
and then my last one was, if you can't fit everything in, it's okay. Sometimes you will have weeks where you can't do all three of your training sessions and two runs, or you can't do your 10,000 steps, and it's not going to kill you. It's not going to your progress. It's no one's standing there being like, you have to do that, or like forcing you into it. It's something that you kind of have to push yourself towards. And if you can't do it that day, it's not the end of the world. Like tomorrow's a new day. You can do it then.
Perfect. So anything else you kind of want to add to anything?
Um, Definitely, if you can, set yourself big goals that a year ago you would have never dreamed of doing, because it feels incredible when you hit them. But it's also okay not to hit them first time round and to try again. Because after that 30K that I did the week before the marathon, I definitely didn't think I was going to be able to run the full 26 miles, because that killed me and I hated it. And it was the worst thing I ever did. But on you'll be fine. Yeah, and just stick with the program. I'm just going to stick with the program until I feel ready to be able to plan like my own time and push without the support. But the support of you guys is just incredible. Like I wouldn't have been able to be where I am now without any of you guys. So just trust the training, trust the process, and just go for it. Make you uncomfortable and hit those big goals.
Lovely. Now, what's the plan?
So the plan is, I'm going to obviously stick with it. I'm not where I want to be, but I don't really know where I want to be. So until I have all these things in place that I know I'd be able to do it without the support, then I'm just going to stick with it and keep going, because I feel like I'm the type of person that does need those plans sometimes, because on my days where I can't do it myself, like it's ideal having someone that's there and able to be like, right, come on, let's go. You need to go and do your workout. You need to go and do your steps. Like, so just I'm just going to stick with it at the moment purely because I need that bit of support, but that's fine. And I've learned that fine to have the support. Like, obviously, I've been probably one of your worst clients because when you message me, sometimes I'm like, I cannot reply to that right now. And I'll just not respond. But at the same time, I'm like, no, that's giving me a little push. I need to go out. I need to do it.
You've definitely not been one of our worst clients. You've been amazing. You just bloody run a marathon. No, it's been really good. I had a question for you. We've kind of got you a plan for the rest of this year, haven't we? So you're going to do the
Yeah.
photo in Jersey again,
Yeah.
at the end of November, and then you haven't done like you had a maintenance phase up to the marathon, but it was just kind of you're running loads, we'll eat more calories.
Yeah.
We will want to eventually run a proper reverse diet where we slowly increase your calories, and you'll be able to eat more and not put on weight and not be running a marathon
Yeah.
week just to keep it off, kind of thing. So that is the main goal. And as soon as you've done all that, then you've done the cycle, and hopefully you will have learned how to do everything as well. Perfect. So if there's nothing else you'd like to add, we will finish up there.
Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you guys very much.
Yeah, you just absolutely smashed your journey. I'm so proud, and every time you achieve something, it just make me so happy. I end up like messaging Simon like, Jenna's just done this or something. So yeah, no, really, really good. Well done.
Of what I've done, but I'm like, yes.
Amazing. All right, I will stop the recording.